Department of Education through the External Partnership Service in coordination with the Schools Division of Negros Oriental and the Schools Division of Gihulingan City, and in partnership with Smart Communication, Philippine Business for Social Progress, or PBSP, LBC Foundation, and LBC Express, present the Smart School in a Bag turnover ceremony. Allow me to acknowledge the participants to this virtual call. Of course, our beloved Secretary of the Department of Education, Honorable Leonor Magtolis Briones, to our Undersecretary for Project Management Service and External Partnership Service, Honorable Tunesito Machiavelli C. O'Malley, Esquire, to the Director 2 of External Partnership Service, Director Edel B. Carag, to our project officers of the External Partnership Service, Ms. Zeni Lastimosa, Ms. Carol Labrage, and Ms. Dinah Cometa. And of course, to the father of the region, Director 4 and Regional Director of DepEd Central Visayas, Director Salostiano T. Jimenez. To our Schools Division Superintendents, from the Schools Division of Negros Oriental, Mr. Senin Priscilo P. Paulin. We have Dr. Arden D. Monesit, the Schools Division Superintendent of Gihulingan City. Dr. Nilita L. Ragay, Assistant Schools Division Superintendent of the Division of Negros Oriental. Dr. Joy Lisa M. Arcilia, Assistant Schools Division Superintendent of the Division of Negros Oriental. We also have with us Dr. Romel Victor A. Villahermosa, Assistant Schools Division Superintendent of Gihulingan City. Dr. Rachel B. Picardal, the Chief School Governance and Operations Division of Negros Oriental Division, and Dr. Nonali Resoor, the CID Chief of Gihulingan City, Dr. Emma S. Mate, Senior Education Program Specialist for Social Mobilization and Networking, SDO Negros Oriental. We also have Mr. Jesse T. Colegio, the School Education Specialist for Social Mobilization and Networking for SDO Gihulingan City. We have Ms. Remeline V. Gaugao, our Division ITO in the Division of Negros Oriental. Of course, to our PSDSS of the recipient schools, Dr. Bida Havensiana Edavad of Dawin District. We have Dr. Rolando A. Pacaro of Valencia District. Also with us, of course, are the school heads of the recipient schools. Dr. Harold A. Suwan of Apo Elementary School, Miss Leia May Apenas of Dubdub Elementary School. We have Mr. Fidelito J. Seniagan of Gihulingan National High School Sandayaw Annex of Gihulingan City, and Miss Evelyn Caniete, the school head of Humay Humay Elementary School, Gihulingan City. We also have with us our teachers of Dobdob Elementary School and Apo Elementary School, together with their Adapt a School coordinators. And of course, this turnover ceremony will not be made possible also without our partners. So from Smart Communication, we have Miss Kathy Yap Yang, the first Vice President, Group Head of Corporate Communications for PLDT and Smart Communications. Together with her is Miss Stephanie Orlino, the Education Program Head of Smart Communication, Miss Mary Jane Francisco, Sammy Gonzaga, and Miss Jan Gautiano. And for Philippine Business for Social Progress, we have Miss Jonna May Samson, the Project Officer for Smart School in a Bag for PBSP rather. And for LBC Foundation, we have the Executive Director, Ms. Christine Wothrich. And Project Officer for LBC Foundation, Ms. Melissa Ann Macarubo. and the Chief Finance Officer for LBC Express, Mr. Enrique V. Ray Jr. So once again, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Secretary Liling. Welcome po sa turnover ceremony event. So to officially
Mayang
start the
hapon
program,
kaninyang tanan.
may hapon, Secretary.
Good to see all of you.
Thank you po. So, to
Very
officially
happy.
start the event, let us give respect to our country by singing the Philippine national anthem and to our Almighty God through a prayer to be led to us by the Senior Education Program Specialist of Gihulngan City, Mr. Jesse T. Colegio.
Bayang magiliw, pero sa silanganan, alab ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupig, di ka pasisiin. Sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bugaw, may dilag ang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kisap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na naglilining, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng luwalhati pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya na pag may mga api ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Let us draw ourselves up to the full height of respect and reverence before God's awesome presence, and let us pray. To the God of eternal glory, whose mercies and graces never come to an end, the creator of heavens and earth and all the splendors therein, our sole provider of every good and perfect gift. This beautiful afternoon, we run out of words in giving you the highest praises for everything that you have done good, holy, and righteous to us. We thank you, Father God, for allowing this virtual turnover ceremony of the donations from the Smart Communications Company. Bless them beyond measure, beyond limits and beyond boundaries, and all our donors for the good of the little slices of humanity. We thank you that amidst of this global health pandemic, we never run short of blessings for our children. And Father, it is our humble prayer. Continue to teach us that each experience of pain is a chance for growth and strength. Each experience of joy is education for gratefulness and keeping. To the only wise God, our Savior, be glory, power, and authority. In Jesus' name, we humbly pray. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you so much, Sir Jesse, for bringing us in prayer. Maayong hapon, magandang hapon po, good afternoon, everyone. Education in the time of COVID is indeed a challenge, not only for the schools, the teachers and learners, but for the entire community. The Department of Education is truly grateful for the partnership we have with our private partners in the delivery of the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan. To welcome us all to this call, let's give a virtual applause to the Assistant Schools Division Superintendent of the Division of Negros Oriental, Dr. Joylisa M. Arcilia.
Ms. Jonah May Samson, Project Officer, School in a Bag, Philippine Business for Social Progress. Ms. Christine Uthrich, Executive Director of LBC Foundation. Ms. Stephanie Orlino, Education Program Head of Smart Communication. Honorable Leonor Magtolis Briones, Secretary, Department of Education, Honorable Tunesito MC Umani, Undersecretary for Project Management Service and External Partnership Service, Dr. Salustiano T. Jimenez, our Regional Director, Mr. Sinen Priscillo P. Pauline, our Schools Division Superintendent of SDO Negros Oriental, Dr. Arden D. Monisit, Schools Division Superintendent of SDO Bihulngan City, my fellow ASDSS, supervisors, education program specialists, school heads, teachers, parents, learners, and our friends in education of SDO Negros Oriental and Bihulngan City, our beneficiary schools represented by the school principals. We have Dr. Harold A. Swan of Apu Elementary School and Miss Maricon G. Yarasol of Gihulngan National High School, Sandayao Annex. Good afternoon. Today, July 19, 2021, is a wonderful start of the week, simply because positive vibes engulfs Negros Oriental with so much kindness, love, generosity that continuously bring hope to the learners who aspire a better life amid the pandemic. School year 2020-2021 was a great mark in the history of Philippine education. That despite the short preparation, it was indeed a success. DepEd is just fortunate that we have a strong leader. We have Secretary Briones, who stood firm amid the uncertainties and criticisms and rallied to allow education to continue. The support of the internal and external stakeholders made it possible and kept education afloat as we consider it sailing in the stormy seas. School year 2021-2022 will eventually open. We are certain that the captain, Secretary Briones, is ready to sail the ship to ensure that the voyagers, our school learners, will be ushered towards their dreams and aspirations in life. What is also heartwarming is that we are gaining more strengths and we extend our network and fasten partnership to people and institutions who have the heart and mind to the learners and allow their hands to reach out for their future. Today is the turnover ceremony of Smart School in a Bag to schools to Division of Negros Oriental and Bihulngan City. This portable digital classroom is designed to facilitate learning in basic education in remote areas without electricity. It utilizes mobile technology coupled with an innovative 21st century teaching pedagogy and K-12 content to enable learning. In behalf of my fellow Negorenses, particularly to the Schools Division of Negros Oriental and Gihulngan City, I am extending my warmest welcome to this Smart School in a Bag turnover ceremony with the hope that this school year 2021-2022 will be more engaging to our 21st learners. God bless and keep safe.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Joy, Liza Arcilia, our ASDS of the Division of Negros Oriental. And to give us the statement of purpose for this event, let's welcome our Assistant Schools Division Superintendent of the Division of Negros Oriental, Dr. Nelita L. Ragay. Let's welcome her with a virtual applause.
Virtual greetings to all our education leaders, most especially our DepEd Secretary, Honorable Nor M. Briones, our Undersecretary for Project Management Service and External Partnership Service, Honorable Tonesito MC Umali, our Regional Director, Dr. Salustiano Jimenez, our Assistant Regional Director, Dr. Cristito Eco, our Schools Division Superintendent, Sir Senin Priscillo Pauline of SDO Network, and the Schools Division Superintendent of Gihulnan City Division, Dr. Arden D. Monese, ASDSS of both divisions, Dr. Jolisa M. Arcilia and Dr. Romel Victor A. Villahermosa, the rest of the attending key officials in both divisions, especially the school heads of the recipient schools, and of course, our kind-hearted partner stakeholders, Ms. Joanna May Samson, Project Officer of the School in a Bag Project of Philippine Business for Social Progress, and Ms. Stephanie Orlino, Education Program Head of the Smart Communication, and Ms. Christine Wathridge, the Executive Director of LBC Foundation. Education is one of the sectors that has been affected much with the global challenges brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic. All educational levels, both in public and private institutions, have shifted modalities which deemed appropriate to the present life situations among learners and families just to afford education to all. Ultimately, the new normal education is characterized by remote learning that heavily relies on the students and their respective families' capabilities to sustain quality education with minimal to almost non-existent supervision from teachers due to the fact that many families cannot afford the technology for online connectivity. However, through collaboration with other stakeholders who have big hearts to help, some inadequacies are filled in. One of which is the School in a Bag by Smart Communication. School in a Bag is a portable digital classroom designed to facilitate learning and basic education in remote areas without electricity. It utilizes mobile technology coupled with an innovative 21st century teaching pedagogy and K-12 content to enable learning. 4 of our schools in this province are recipients of this gift from Smart Communication through the efforts of External Partnership Service and the PBSP, which are delivered free of charge through a partnership with LBC Foundation. Despite the challenges the schools, the students, the families have experienced in the new normal, yet there are still so much to thank for. Thus, this day is set to award these gifts to our recipient schools, namely Apo Elementary School and Dubdob Elementary School of SDO Negor, Humay-Humay Elementary School and Gihulnan National High School, Sanayaw Annex of SDO Gihulnan City Division. More blessed because this activity is graced by our key officials from the central and regional offices. Thank you so much, everyone, most especially to our partners and the social mobilization personnel of both SDOs, and to all those who labored well on these blessings. God bless everyone. Sulong Edukalidad.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Lilita Ragay. And now we move on to one of the most exciting parts of this ceremony, the turnover of the donation packages, the School in a Bag packages. To give her message and to formally turn over the School in a Bags, we have the first Vice President, the Group Head of Corporate Communications for PLDT and Smart Communications. Let's give a virtual applause to Miss Kathy Yap Yang. Good
Maayong
morning po,
hapon
Miss
sa inyong
Kathy.
tanan.
Ngayong
Thank you
hapon.
so much, Miss Carla.
Thank you po.
I'm really honored to be here. Thank you very much for the opportunity to help. To Dr. Jolisa Arcilia, the Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Division of Negros Oriental. Dr. Nilita Ragay, the Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Division of Negros Oriental. Mr. Senen Priscilo Paulin, the Schools Division Superintendent, Division of Negros Oriental. Dr. Arden Munisit, Schools Division Superintendent, Division of Gihulngan City. Dr. Salustiano Jimenez, Director 4th, Regional Director for DepEd Central Visayas. Dr. Romel Victor Villahermosa, Assistant Schools Division Superintendent of Gihulngan City. Director Adele Carag from Project Management Service and External Partnership Service. Honorable Tunicito MC Umali Esquire, Undersecretary for Project Management Service and External Partnership Service. Honorable Secretary Leonor Magtolis Briones of the Department of Education. Partners from LBC Foundation, beloved teachers from our recipient schools, colleagues from PLDT and SMART. Maayong hapon sa inyong tanan. On behalf of PLDT and SMART, allow me to congratulate the Department of Education, the teachers, the school administrators, parents, and of course, the hardworking learners for successfully completing this school year. 2020 may have been one of the most challenging years we have faced, but it also paved the way for the education sector to pivot and become more innovative in adapting to the new normal. A salute to all of you in ensuring that there is no learner left behind amid the pandemic. For many years now, we at PLDT and SMART and the PLDT SMART Foundation have been working really hard to roll out inclusive and accessible education solutions to our country's last mile schools. It is our hope to provide learners access to technology, connectivity, and educational content via our School in a Bag program. This is what you see behind me. Through our generous support of the partners that we work with, more Filipino learners are able to enjoy the benefits of digital learning. So this afternoon, we are proud to turn over four of these School in a Bag packages to the following lucky schools: Apo Elementary School, Negros Oriental; Dobdob Elementary School, Negros Oriental; Gihulngan National High School, Annex, Gihulngan; Humay Elementary School, Gihulngan. So each School in a Bag package comes with a whole lot of stuff. It's got one laptop that you see right in front of me, 20 tablets, with all the expandable memory cards. So you can see that these really come in interesting apps. They're very exciting if you haven't seen it yet. I look forward to you spending the afternoon just having a tinker around. It also has one smart LTE pocket Wi-Fi with a starter load, a USB. So throughout the deployment of these bags, we are wishing to increase our current reach of more than 83,000 students and over 4,000 teachers. And we're not stopping there. On top of the devices, we believe that the carefully curated learning content and disaster and pandemic resilience strategy of teaching, called the CVIF Dynamic Learning Program, or the CVIF DLP. This book here, have a look at it. It's color red, very interesting. It comes bundled with each School in a Bag. That will be greatly beneficial to both the learners and teachers. These tried and tested strategies have been successfully adopted by schools in various parts of the country, and we've got great success stories to share with all of you. We're very happy to share with you today that there has been a 927% increase. That's 927% of an increase in the adoption rate of the CVIF Dynamic Learning Program among schools during the COVID-19 pandemic. That is a miracle, but that is what collaboration brings us. As we roll out the School in a Bag packages to your respective schools, we're looking forward to partnering with other schools and your schools in implementing this innovative strategy of teaching that helps develop independent learners. So we're not leaving you away with a package. We're going to keep following up with you and see your progress. You're not going to be alone in this journey. We're with you all the way. As we prepare for the new school year, we would like to underscore our commitment to ensure that learning continues through the following: accessible opportunities for students so that learning never stops, capacity building activities for teachers and schools on the adoption of the DepEd endorsed CVIF Dynamic Learning Program, partnerships with government agencies and LGUs for various corporate social responsibility programs rolled out across the country, platforms for agencies and LGUs to provide timely information via Smart's InfoCast, usage promos with free access to work, education, and productivity applications, and zero rating of DepEd Commons that houses learning content for teachers and learners. We are one with the Department of Education in advocating inclusive education so that there is no learner left behind. Together with you, our partners, we hope to help more communities to live smarter for a better world. And before I go, I leave you with these words. Among kinasing-kasing, nga pasalamat sa Department of Education. Gilantaw namo ang dugang natong panag-uban alang sa atong mga magtutungha ug mga magtutudlo. Amping, thank you so much and a very good afternoon to all. Back to you, Ms. Carla.
Thank you so much, Miss Kathy. Indeed, we are very happy because this partnership does not end with a turnover ceremony, but we are looking forward to more schools in the Department of Education to be using the school in a bag. Okay, so at this juncture, I would like to request our schools division superintendent to be on stage so that we can have a photo op. So it's a screenshot. So please open your camera. Our PSDSS of the recipient schools, our ASDSS, and the school heads, together with our SEPs for SOCMO. So this is a one-of-a-kind turnover ceremony. So please open your camera. Dito, sir. So Miss Kathy, para po talagang itong face-to-face na turnover. Kaya
Yes po.
Kaya lang sa photo opo, si screenshot lang po namin. Andyan po lahat. Si Secretary Liling, si kayo po Miss Kathy, si Director Kaarag.
Salamat na marami. At ito na rin ang kinasanayan natin, hindi ba? 1.5 years na tayong ganito. Pero nagkaroon din tayo ng opportunity to really pursue innovative ways of learning. Kung hindi man natin na-embrace before the pandemic, napilitan na tayong pumarito.
Yes.
At natutuwa ako makita kayong lahat. Thank you so much.
Sige, ayan. Tatanggapin na po nila ang packages. So, paki-screenshot na po. So, for Gihulingan City din. Ayan. Ayan, bigyan po natin sila ng virtual applause. To Dubdub Elementary School, to Apo Elementary School, and of course to Gihilngan National High School, Sandayaw Annex, and Humay-Humay Elementary School of the Gihulngan City Division. So congratulations to these 4 lucky schools and the learners of these 4 schools, hoping that by the opening of classes in September, the schools will be multiplied. Recipient schools will be multiplied.
Magandang timing po ito at dahil September 30 na rin ang ating official opening of classes, so hopefully makatulong ng malaki.
Apo.
Medyo may kabigatan lang yung backpack. Hindi siya normal backpack ng parang bata. In fact, I think kailangan ng 2 tao para buhatin yung buong pack. Matutuwa kayo once you've had a closer look at it.
kasya po yung bata sa isang bag. Pwede pong itaas po natin yung isang bag, Sir Pacaro, yung bag na may raincoat. Kasi hindi talaga siya mababasa sa ulan. Yan. Ganyan po kalaki si bag para maipasok ang lahat ng gadgets. So it's easy, para po siyang mobile school. Kung meron tayong kariton library, ito po siya, talagang school in a bag. Kasi dala-dala mo yung gadgets at yung lessons mo.
Actually, strike anywhere siya, Miss Carla. Basta dala mo
Opo.
yung bag at meron kang gustong makinig sa'yo at gustong matuto, agad-agarang may matututunan.
Opo. Sabi po nga po
Matutuwa kayo
namin, ma'am,
dun sa mga
magagamit po namin sa Brigada Pagbasa.
Yes, definitely. May gusto lang akong ipakita sa inyo habang yung picture taking ay nagaganap. Lalakasan ko na yung audio nito. Ito yung isa sa mga apps. Nakakatuwa. Oy. The Oyayi Game Show. Isa siyang app na nandyan sa bag na may enjoy laruin ng mga bata. Kala nyo laruan pero maraming matututunan dito. So, ganoon po siya.
Yan po, from Gihulngan City Division. Our school heads, Mr. Fidelito Senyagan and Ma'am Evelyn Cañete. Ayan po, hawak-hawak na po nila ang kanilang Lenovo tabs with SDS Arden Munisit and their Sec for SOCMO, Mr. Jessico Leheo. Palakpakan po natin sila. Virtual palakpak po. Okay, so congratulations. Gusto ko rin pong i-acknowledge na nasa call na po natin ngayon si Yusek Tony. Okay, so welcome po. Good afternoon po, Yusek Tony.
Good afternoon. Or a very good morning to you, sir.
I think it's good morning in the United States right now.
Yes.
Okay, so let's listen to the acceptance message from our schools division superintendents. First, the acceptance message of the schools division superintendent of the Division of Negros Oriental, Mr. Senin Priscillo P. Pauline. Let's give Sir Senin a virtual applause.
As I make my acceptance of these beautiful gifts, I would like to acknowledge with so much gratitude the presence of our education leaders at the central office, led by our very respected and highly esteemed Secretary, Honorable Leonor Magtolis Briones, together with the other deputy officials of the central office. I also would like to pay respect to our regional director, who is joining us virtually, and our representatives from our partners, the men and women who have made this possible for our schools in Negros Oriental, specifically Dubdob Elementary School and Apo Island Elementary School, to receive these beautiful gifts. To my colleagues at the division office of both divisions, Gihulngan and Negros Oriental divisions, to the representatives of the schools, the district supervisors of the districts where these schools belong, school heads, to one and all, mayong hapon atong tanan. I would like to say that this is one of the days the Lord has made, because truly what we are doing now is a manifestation that truly it takes a village to teach a child. And we are just very lucky that we have very strong winds beneath our wings, which have made us fly. And I would like to acknowledge the effort and the conviction of our Secretary Leonor Briones, who was very strong and desirous that education must continue. And it really did. Congratulations, Secretary. We are with you in this. And today, Negros Oriental Division is very lucky to have received these schools in a bag through the courtesy of SMART and PLDT and our partners with LBC and the Philippine Philippine business for social progress, and everyone who have made this possible. Thank you very much. We might not be able to verbalize how grateful we are, but we would like we might not be able to verbalize our gratitude, but we would like to let you know that we are more inspired to pursue education even in the most trying moments as what we have successfully done. So to Ma'am Liling Briones, daghan kayong salamat, Ma'am. Kay dako kayo kining inspirasyon, alang kanamo nga among ipadayon ang among pagpaninguha ng atong mga kabataan diri sa Negros Oriental, atong matagaan sa edukasyon nga ilang gikinahanglan aron ato silang matabangan sa ilahang paninguha nga mausab ang dagan sa ilang kinabuhi. To our partners, SMART, Philippines, PLDT, LBC, and the Philippine
Business.
Business for Progress, for Social Progress, thank you very much. We might be very profuse in our gratitude to you, but time will come when the outcomes and the results of your assistance will bear fruits, and that will be the best gratitude that we can give to you. When one of these days, our learners will just knock at your doors and say, thank you for this opportunity. But at this moment, allow me to represent the learners, the teachers, the school heads, and the district supervisors, including our local government officials of these municipalities, municipality of Valencia, where Dubdub Elementary School is, and municipality of Dawin, where Apo Island Elementary School is. Daghan kayong salamat. And in my capacity as the school's division superintendent of the Division of Negros Oriental, I humbly and gratefully accept these items contained in the Smart School in a Bag. Daghan kaayong salamat, and may God bless you with good health in mind, body, and spirit so that we can continue our mission in education. Good afternoon, Secretary. Good afternoon, Sir Sal. Good afternoon to our partners from Smart Philippines, PLDT, LBC, and PBSP, and to one and all, maayong hapon. Truly, this is one of the days the Lord has made. Daghang salamat.
Once again, a virtual applause to our Superintendent of the Division of Negros Oriental, Mr. Sinin Priscilo P. Pauline. This time, we will listen to the acceptance message of the school's Division Superintendent of the Division of Gihulingan City, Dr. Arden D. Monisit. A virtual applause, please.
The Honorable Leonor Magtulis Briones, our dear Secretary, Director Sal Jimenez, fellow educators, in my capacity as the school's division superintendent of the Division of Gihulngan City, and for and on behalf of the recipient schools of this division, Gihulngan National High School, Sandayaw Annex, and Humay-Humay Elementary School, I hereby accept with sincerest appreciation the said Smart School in a Bag donations from Smart Communication Inc. and hereby turn over the same to Mr. Fidelito Siniagan and Mrs. Evelyn Cañete, the school heads of Sandayaw Annex and Humay-Humay Elementary School. Daghang salamat.
Thank you so much to the Superintendent of the Division of Gihulngan City, Dr. Arden D. Munisit. Let's give him another virtual applause. Okay. Indeed, these gadgets, this school in a bag, will not reach our divisions without another partner. Okay. Because through this partner, we have a free delivery of the items from NCR to our divisions. So let's listen to a message from the Executive Director of LBC Foundation, Miss Christine Wuthrich. Let's give her a virtual applause. Is Miss Wuthrich in the call? Or may representative po tayo sa mga hari ng padala? Okay, perhaps we'll get back to LBC. Parang may dinideliver pa po yata. Okay po. So this time, of course, our father of the region cannot be absent during this turnover ceremony because he is always a partner to the schools divisions of the Central Visayas. So, friends, let's give a virtual applause to the Director 4, Regional Director of DepEd Central Visayas, Dr. Salustiano P. Jimenez.
Okay, thank you very much, Miss Carla. Daghang salamat no for that. Sa atong mayong adlaw na tong tanan, no? So sa atong pinalangga nga Secretary of the Department of Education, our beloved Secretary Ma'am Leonor Ma'am Liling Magtulis Briones, who lead the baton no to make sure that education must continue. Thank you so much, Ma'am, for all the efforts nga tungod nimo panapadayon gyud ang edukasyon og walay nasayang nga tuig. So thank you very much and my salute to you, no. So also na at kauban nato Yusik Tony Sito Umali, also Miss Christine Wuthrich, Executive Director of LBCA Foundation, our partners also from Smart and PLDT, Miss Kathy Yapyang, First Vice President, Group Head of Corporate Communications and PLDT and Smart Communication. Also, Ms. Mary Jane Francisco. Our superintendents, assistant superintendents, chiefs of the different divisions, the EPS and the SEPs, the school heads, our teachers, parents and guardians, the learners, and all in attendance in this virtual turnover of Smart School in a Bag. Once again, a pleasant afternoon. First, I would like to congratulate you all for this commendable activity, the turnover of Smart School in a Bag. Now, Mother Teresa once said, and I quote, "I can do things you cannot, and you can do things I cannot. Together, we can do great things." So whatever challenge we faced, we will survive if together and united. So this partnership with Smart and Smart PBSP and DepEd is indeed a manifestation of a good collaboration and cooperation with stakeholders that resulted to an impact especially to the recipient divisions in Negros Oriental. So with this, I'm praying and hoping that more partnerships or more partnerships similar to this, so that there will be so many also who will be benefited out from it. So for and in behalf of DepEd Regional Office 7, our gratefulness to all who made this endeavor a reality, especially to Secretary Ma'am Liling Briones for her selfless service and guidance to all of us in DepEd, because I'm sure it's Secretary Briones who made this possible. Kay siya gyud nagtawag nako nga kulit nga about this nga manghatag para sa Negros Oriental nga bisan pa sa kahagipot sa panahon, still Ma'am Liling's service and action is always there, especially for Negros. So with that, Ma'am Liling, thank you very much. No? So to all, sulong edukalidad, and satiety, ona ang bata perme. God bless everyone, and again, thank you very much.
Daghang salamat, Sir Sal. Sa 7 una ang bata. Pirmi. Og siyempre. Okay. So, a virtual applause to our regional director, please. So, in behalf of our Undersecretary for Project Management Service and for External Partnership Service, to give us a message, we have Dr. Edel B. Karag, Director 2 for External Partnership Service, and also to introduce our keynote speaker. Let's welcome Director Edel B. Karag with a virtual applause.
Hello po, maayong hapon sa tanan.
Maayong hapon.
Magandang hapon po, lalong-lalo na po sa ating buting Secretary, Ma'am Leonor Magtolis Briones. On behalf of our Undersecretary for Legislative Affairs, External Partnerships, and Project Management Service, no other than our own Undersecretary Tonesito MC Umales Choir. Nais ko pong batiin po yung nandito sa ating meeting room. Nandiyan po ang ating beloved Secretary, Ma'am Leonor Magtolis Briones, our own Director 4 of Region 7, Dr. Soliciano Jimenez, our Schools Division Superintendent, the recipient divisions po ng dalawa, SDSN and Priscilo Pauline, Schools Division Superintendent of Negros Oriental, our Schools Division Superintendent of Gihulngan City, SDS Arden Munisit, our Assistant Schools Division Superintendent of Negros Oriental, Dr. Joy Liza Arcilla, the Schools Division Assistant Superintendent of Negros Oriental. Another is Dr. Nilita Ragay, the Assistant Schools Division Superintendent of Gihulngan City, Dr. Ramel Victor Villahermosa. Our school heads, the recipients of this SIAB or School in a Bag project, we have Dr. Harold Suwan of Apo Elementary School, the Sandayao Annex of Gihulngan National High School head. We have Ms. Maricon Girasol, the Division SOCMOB of Negros Oriental, Ms. Carla Panessa. Other school heads, of course, our partners from the Vice President, the First Vice President and Group Head of Corporate Communications, PLDT and SMART, Ms. Cathy Yap Yang, the Education Program Group Head, Smart Communication, Ms. Stephanie Orlino, our Executive Director, LBC Foundation, Ms. Christine Putrich, and the Project Officer of School in a Bag, Philippine Business for Social Progress, Ms. Jonah Samson. Other guests, teachers, the CID chief, the SGOD chiefs, of course, my family, the external family. Nandyan po sina Ate Zen, Dav, and Carol, and of course, Rolly, and other EPS team. The staff of the OULAP team, nandyan po sina John, nandyan po si Max and Dines. Muli, magandang hapon po sa lahat. Nais ko pong i-quote muna ang aking mensahe. Ito po ay hango sa sinabi po ni Helen Keller. Sabi po niya, alone we can do so little. Together we can do so much. Yan po, kaya po kami sa external partnerships ay kumakatok po lagi sa mga pintuan ng ating external partners. Nang sa gayon po, ito po ay makakatulong po kami doon sa mga learning needs po ng ating mga guro, mga mag-aaral. Kaya po, kahit po ito po ay sa apat lang po muna ang ibibigay po sa Gihulngan and Negros Oriental, ito po ay napakalaking tulong na po sa ating mga mag-aaral at ating mga guro na gagamitin po sa kanilang panturo at magpag-aaral. So ganun po ang ginagawa po namin. This is only initial, as you have heard from Ms. Yap. Sana po ito ay madagdagan ng sa gayon. Marami po tayong matutulungan sa Negros Oriental, or not only Negros Oriental, particularly in the whole region of Region 7. So yun po, patuloy po kami yan. Kakatukin po yung pintuan ni Ms. Yap. Nang sa gayon, hindi lang po 15 ang ibibigay niyo sa DepEd. Kasi initially po, only 15 sets pa lang po ang naibibigay sa atin. And out of these 15 sets, 4 po ang napunta sa Region 7. Okay. So yun po, ang sabi po natin, ang partnerships has become an important paradigm in delivering and achieving development goals and services for education. Through partnerships, all the necessary stakeholders get involved to address the immediate needs of our learners and invest to help bridge the gaps in the field of education. Ito po ang batayan po namin, kaya po meron tayong mga legal basis po na kung saan, kaya sabi ko kanina, lagi kami pupakatok. Number 1 po ay, sample lang po ay yung IRR of RA 9155. Nakasaad po dito, ang sabi po is, the parents and the community shall be engaged for active involvement in education of the child. The participation, coordination between and among the schools, the local school boards, the parent teachers, associations must be maximized. Another one is volunteerism from among all sectors shall be emphasized and encouraged to ensure sustainable growth and development in education. Another legal basis po, mismo po sa ating DepEd mission, nakasaad po doon that family, community, and other stakeholders are actively engaged and share responsibility for developing lifelong learners. So yun po ang aming basis po. Marami pa pong legal basis kung saan po kami po ay patuloy na kumakatok sa pintuan po ng both external and local government units. At doon po mismo sa 10-point agenda ng ating buting secretary, number 10 po doon ay we all, and I quote, we all continue cooperation with private sector and communities, as well as the bilateral and multilateral institutions towards the fulfillment of our vision and agenda. So yun po, yan lang po ang mga ibang kumbaga legal basis. As I have said a while ago, kung bakit kami sa external partners ay patuloy kami nakikipag-engage sa mga partners na sa gayon mapunan po namin yung mga gaps sa ating mga paaralan, lalo-lalo na po doon sa mga kagamitan na panturo. So before I will end po, let me leave this quotation by Mandy Hale. Sabi po niya, and I quote, "There is nothing more beautiful than someone who goes out of their way to make life beautiful for others." Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Okay, so yan po. And to introduce our beloved Secretary, Secretary Leonor Magtolis Briones is a Professor Emeritus of the University of the Philippines of Public Administration and Governance. Has spent most of her life as a teacher. She has taught young children in church school, and students in undergraduate, master's, and doctoral studies. Whenever she delivers a public lecture, she teaches. She has been a resource person in numerous national, regional, and international meetings and fora. She addressed the General Assembly of the United Nations in 2005. She combines the role of distinguished academic and teacher, public official, and social activist. Secretary Briones has been involved in the administration of academic institutions. She served as Vice President for Administration and Finance of the University of the Philippines System. Before her appointment as Education Secretary, she was chair of the Silliman University Board of Trustees and regent and the chair designate of the Universidad de Manila. She has a wealth of experience in administrating public institutions. She was secretary to the Commission on Audit and served as treasurer of the Philippines. Furthermore, Secretary Briones is an articulate advocate on economic and social development issues. She was former president of Freedom from Death Coalition. She then became lead convener of Social Watch Philippines, coordinator of Social Watch Asia, and Social Watch International. Social Watch reports to the United Nations on social development issues. Her academic and professional competencies range from business administration, accounting, public finance, like revenues, expenditures, borrowing, and accountability, public policy and administration, including local government administration, government corporations, and graft and corruption. She obtained her bachelor in business administration, major in accounting, magna cum laude, from Silliman University at the age of 17. Master's in public administration, major in local government and fiscal administration. Dean's List from the University of the Philippines, postgraduate diploma in development administration, major in public enterprises, with distinction from Leeds University, England. Certificate in policy in public enterprise from Harvard Institute of International Development, Harvard University. And certificate in innovations in governance from the John F. Kennedy School of Government, Harvard University, Massachusetts. She was also conferred the honorary degrees of Doctor of Public Administration and Doctor of Human Studies by the Central Philippine University in 2014 and Foundation University in 2017, respectively. Secretary Briones has received numerous awards in recognition of her sterling performance as a public official, such as the Presidential Lingkod ng Bayan Award in 2000 by the Civil Service on its centennial year, the Outstanding Professional Award in Public Administration conferred on her by the University of the Philippines Alumni Association, and the Alumni Achievement Award for Government Service given to her by the National College of Public Administration and Governance on its 50th year. She has also awarded as one of the outstanding Sillimanian for Public Administration, Outstanding Negrens Award for Government Service, the Bayi Citation Award for Exemplary Woman in Politics and Governance in 2011. Distinguished alumni of the UP Alumni Association in 2013, an outstanding citizen of Quezon City in 2015. Recently, she has been recognized as one of UP and CPAG's pillars in a library exhibit titled Leonor Magtolis Briones, Professor Emeritus, Public Finance Expert, Social Activist, and Lingkod Bayan, in honor of her unparalleled contributions as an educator, a champion of fiscal management and social development, and a public servant. Even more important than her long record of research, teaching, and government service is her total commitment to good governance, particularly in public finance. Now, Secretary is a member of the United Church of Christ in the Philippines and President of the Manila Concert Choir. And let us all welcome this afternoon our own beloved DepEd Secretary, Ma'am Leonor Magtolis Briones.
Daghang salamat, Edel. I hope and I will endeavor to keep my message shorter than the recitation of my life. Ang kulang na lang, Edel, yung love life ko. Nandoon na lahat ng buhay ko. And the reason why it is a long recitation, of course, is because I am 80 years old. So, na-accumulate na yung so-called, those which are described as accomplishments. But thank you, Edel, for describing the person who has been called a whore, who has been cursed, and who has been called all sorts of names by all sorts of people. And thank you for that. Maayong hapon kaninyong tanan. This is a very happy day for me. I would like to greet, of course, the members of my DepEd family, not only from Central Office, sila Eder, sila Tony, and External Partnership Service staff, but largely ang mga taga Region 7 led by Director Sal Jimenez, whom I call at all hours. Last night, what time did I call you? Whenever there is something affecting the region or the province, I always call the Sal at all hours of the day and of the night and of the morning. And he endeavors to take action immediately. And this is what I do to all. This is the kind of working relationship I have with all the regional directors and central office directors. They are on call at all hours because the challenges always pop up at all hours. So greetings to my DepEd family, lalo na sa Region 7, sa Gihulungan, sa Dumaguete, sa Negros Oriental, and of course the recipient schools. I'd also like to greet our very generous and concerned donors who have responded to the challenge of COVID-19, not only the challenge of COVID-19, but the challenge of making this hopefully successful pivot towards educalidad, towards quality in education. All of you who have been making the journey with us, like SMART, know that as early as 2018 and 2019, we're already making the pivot towards quality in education because we were aware of what the issues are. So I'd like to greet Smart Communications, LBC Foundation. Who does not know LBC? It has become a parang kagaya ng toothpaste is associated with a particular brand na ang toothpaste nga yung brand na yan kung you talk about delivery people always LBC mo na lang maski there are also other delivery services pero it has become a common noun because of its service and the breadth of its operations in the country. So LBC Foundation, whose executive director is, I believe, is from Dumaguete. The Woodrich family is from Dumaguete and Negros Oriental. LBC Express, and of course, Philippine Business for Social Progress, which is among the earliest civil society organizations who emphasize the link between poverty and development. Early on, they were already studying the nature and the consequences of extreme poverty. And of course, education is part of this. I'm aware of what they have been doing all these decades. So thank you to our partners whose generosity has made this possible. Now, I'm very happy also to greet the citizens, the learners, the officials of the recipient schools. Negros Oriental, I'm already 8 years old. I grew up knowing that we were among the poorest provinces in the country. Even as a child, we were already a very, very poor province. Palagi tayo sa list ng poor provinces. I grew up, I finished my education, went on to UP. Negros Oriental was still among the poorest of the provinces in the country, particularly in Region 7. And so it cannot be helped that if you are dealing with a very, very poor province, you would have to look to education as a solution or as perhaps as an answer to very prevalent and deep-seated poverty. I saw it myself. My mother was as I belong to a dynasty of school teachers, and school teachers were notoriously among the poorer sections of the population in my province, no. And the choice of Negros Oriental as a recipient of at least 4 of the schools in a bag, I think is a very logical. Kung bata pa ako, when I was still young, an elementary kid, I mean, I did my elementary education, my pre-elementary education during the war years in Gihulungan, Negros Oriental. I finished my high school studies in Negros Oriental. And now the city of Gihulungan has produced a Secretary of Education. So bumabawi yung province kasi mababa ang GDP, mababa ang income, very, very high ang levels of poverty. But education was its major product. And Negros Oriental has produced 2 secretaries of education. And this is the present Secretary of Education and Jose Romero, who was also Secretary of Education during his time. So all these decades, Negros Oriental has always been poor. All these decades, the distribution of income and wealth was always skewed. You would have among the richest people in the country, in the province, but also the highest level of poverty. And the only way by which citizens, the people of Negros Oriental survived was to do well in education. And this perhaps explains why we have among the best universities in the country located in Negros Oriental. Our best products are our are the products of our schools. And for our friends, Smart Communication, LBC Foundation, LBC Express, PBSP, to help us respond to this very serious chronic level status of poverty in the province is a very worthwhile and worthy endeavor indeed. The 4 schools which I had no role at all in the selection of the recipient schools. I don't even know who made the selections, because it's like you throw a stone anywhere and you will hit poverty. And I'm happy because the 4 schools represent pockets of poverty or locations of poverty, and the level of education in the province perfectly. Apo is typical of the far off island schools that we are maintaining all over the country. But perhaps it's also one of the most beautiful islands, because it is also the site of a marine laboratory. It is so rich in marine life that the Apo situation has been replicated in a museum, a marine museum in Chicago in the United States. And we have produced perhaps the most distinguished marine biologists. So bumabawi ang Negros Oriental, poor yung province, bumabawi sa education, because that is the response to, that is how we are able to survive and to preserve and to be proud of our identity as people from Negros Oriental. So Apo is very well known for the richness, the variety of its marine life, and has been the subject of so many studies and so many coffee table books, where you can find not only the most beautiful, but some of the rarest marine life in the country. Not only in the country, but also of the world. A very poor province producing that in an island, a very, very poor island. Dubdob is one of the farthest barrios ever in the town of Valencia. And during the rainy season, no one can go to Dubdob because the roads are impossible, the rocks and the boulders are huge, and no vehicle can get through. And a place like Dubdob can only, well, it can result, of course, in high levels of discontent, of isolation, especially during very, very, very bad weather, because Dubdob is already near the boundary of Negros Occidental and Negros Oriental and Occidental. And the teachers who go there, and I have talked with the teachers who go there, they have to physically live in Dubdob because they cannot go every day from the town of Valencia to Dubdob because it is that far, it is that difficult to reach. And during inclement weather, it gets shut off. And I'm very glad that you are providing this school in a bag to one of perhaps a very, very isolated school, where the teachers have to live, they live in the schools themselves. And then they go home only during weekends. They leave their families in the Dumaguete, go up during the weekday, and then go down naman at the end of the week, because they cannot be going every day. And the roads are impassable. I don't know what is the situation now. Well, hopefully, since it is election time, usually a few kilometers of road are usually attended to. I'm not as familiar with the humay-humay, but humay, it means rice in Cebuano. So I would assume, I don't know if they're still raising rice in humay or in some distant past. And this is in Gihulungan City, a town at the time where I was born. I finished my elementary school, my high school in Gihulungan. And this is why, as I said, I know very well what Gihulungan City is. And also the National High School. I'm very happy that we now have a national high school right in Gihulungan, where the levels of poverty are also very, very high. So you have this vast gap, this vast nearly impossible, but now probably possible distance between the well-to-do and the very rich and the very poor in Gihulungan. And so I'm very grateful personally that these 4 places have been chosen without my participation. I don't know what your criteria is, but the choice has been quite appropriate. Apo, because it is a very isolated island. And I hope that in the process of bringing education, we will not destroy its beauty. We will not destroy the marine treasures which have attracted scientists from all over the world. And of course, Darwin is a very popular town, known for also for its marine life and the quality of its seafood. Dobdob, I have already mentioned, as a very remote school. I have not even reached it because it is impossible to reach it. And the people who take care of me, I said, I want to go to Dobdob because I've heard so much about Dobdob. And some of these stories are not need to be responded to. Ay sabi ng mga kasama ko, Mom, it's impossible for you to go because when you travel, you have to travel at a certain speed. Your vehicle has to travel at a particular speed. Ganon ang requirement for officials when they travel. Mayroong speed requirement. You cannot travel fast because the roads are so bad, the boulders are so huge that it will probably take you hours and hours, a very slow travel before you reach Dobdob. So I'm thankful to the teachers of Dobdob who devote their lives, who live there, and who have to deal with the day-to-day problems of the community. So maraming salamat for your choice of recipients, no? And as I was saying, I'm glad that you are distributing 15 schools in a bag. Problem natin kasi talaga, and Smart knows this very well. In my own residence, 3 days na wala kaming internet, wala kaming telepono, walang internet, walang telepono, we cannot contact anybody, we are completely shut off from the rest of the world. And I live in Quezon City. I live here, and you cannot imagine what it's like out there in the provinces. Kung kami, mga officials, have difficulty communicating with each other, although there are those who really love it, na hindi sila makukontak ni Briones at midnight, no? Ang tuwa nila, buti nga hindi makakontak si Tanda, no? Kasi kung hindi, tawag lang yun ang tawag at all hours of the day, because I live in a bubble, no? So kung tayo dito ay nahirapan, and to have a device which enables you to to transmit knowledge even without electricity, that is really something. And I have cited it to the president na sabi ko na it may not be as desperate now, na even without electricity, it is still possible to continue the learning process. Kasi talagang that is commitment natin yan lahat. Kasi alam natin, alam ng PBSP yan, alam ng DepEd na the key to the solution of not only one of the keys, kasi dami naman of the poverty problem is education. And that is why Negros Oriental has survived because of education. Dahil in terms of income, we are very poor. We are used to poverty. I was already, how old was I when I finally got a house? Siguro I was more than 40 years old already. And I became full professor after 30 years. And I could not understand why people were always worried about the financial aspects, etc., etc. Because I grew up in a very poor province with very proud people, with highly educated people who were largely poor. In our cabinet nga, if I may tell a little story, whenever one of our cabinet members would make a comment about our budget, the budget of the national government, and how we allocate our budget, sasabihin niya, so many billions is worth so many Innovas. Yung Innova na kotse. Sabi ko, why are you using Innova as an example? Sabi niya, because it's a car which is used by many people. Hindi naman sila nag-ano ng very expensive cars. It's a car used by... Sabi ko, huwag mo namang gamitin yan because my Innova is already 20 years old and I have not yet changed it. And I bought it on installment. One time I made an effort to make utang-utang a vehicle, and I was already, what was I, secretary to the Commission on Audit. And the usual interview by the car distributor, and then tinanong yung husband ko, how much is my income? And then sinabi niya kung magkano ang believe na sa kanyang paniwala na income ko. So I could not even qualify to borrow a car, to buy a particular car because my salary as secretary to the Commission on Audit was, and also later on as a professor of UP, did not qualify me to be able to buy a car on credit. And I have always been, it's not been the most important thing in my life, of course, because that's how we make bawi. We make bawi by through education. And Negros Oriental has produced very distinguished educators as well as educated people. So in closing, as you make this special presentation for Negros Oriental, don't feel that there is favoritism here. Negros Oriental has traditionally been a very, very, very poor province. Yun ang linakihan ko. Yun ang kinagisnan ko na mahirap na probinsya. Negros Oriental always had these far-off island schools. Negros Oriental always had these schools which could not be reached during inclement weather. And Negros Oriental has always been bothered, and you know that, by social problems, not only of the where you discuss poverty, but also of the physical type. And Dubdob, I'm very interested, by the way, friends, I'm very interested in Dubdob. Pag may effect itong what you are doing for Dubdob on education and the level of performance of the children, that would be a major contribution. Perhaps when I have time to talk with you guys privately, I will explain why Dubdob is important, because issues in provinces like ours are not only about education and poverty, they're also about other matters as well, historically. And you also know that. You all of you who are college educated, all of you who read newspapers, and all the spectacular stories that emanate from my province, alam ninyo yan. And I believe that a more efficient, effective, unahin na lang ninyo, maski wala akong telepono 3 araw na since last Friday, tuwan-tuwa naman yung iba dahil hindi ko na sila matawagan, na dito sa communication sa Quezon City of all places, but at least in a place like Dubdob, something is going to happen even without electricity. And you will give relief to the teachers who are living in the schoolhouses then, to the children who have to walk to school and learn all those wonderful things na inano ni Kathy Young, all the little things. I wish I was taught that. Dahil ako noon ay dahon lang ng saging eh. Everybody knows that story which I keep on repeating. Natuto lang naman ako sa dahon ng saging at sa bamboo sticks. Pero ito, high-tech, in a place like Dubdob, that's something really, really very, very. And saka may ano yan, may, I must say, ano ba yun? Yung bang, magkaroon ng synergy. It's not only going to be about education. It's also going to be about development. It's also going to be about peace. And if you contribute to that, that's very significant. I can continue talking because you happen to be doing something for the province that I grew in, and which I know very, very well as a poor student coming from a poor family. I worked noon in one of the bookstores in Dumaguete, 30 centavos per hour as a bookkeeper. Yeah, kaya yung World Bank hindi nila ako kaya kasi I have a head start on them. 30 centavos per hour lang ang sweldo ko sa bookstore in Dumaguete City. Anyway, World Bank is another story. And I can also give you a briefing on the structure of World Bank and our contributions. All that I can say right now is that we are a co-owner of World Bank. We are one of the 189 subscribers of the World Bank. Our initial contribution was $990 million, which right now is worth $14.6 billion as a stockholder, but is still nothing compared to the contributions of the other countries. And we have a governor representing the Philippines and the board of governors of the World Bank. So the relationship is that of accountability as well. Anyway, so thank you very much for your generosity. This will result. Let's see and let us watch. Tingnan natin. I'm very interested in Dubdob. And as we bring civilization and education to Apo, let us make sure that we don't destroy the pristine marine treasures that are found in only in Apo Island, for example. And when we think about Humay and the Sandayo National High School in Gihulman City, let us not forget that you, my friends, sana ma-inspired kayo, or donors. You are not only bringing education. Yun. Kasi mahilig si Sal at saka si Edel na mag-quote. You don't have to quote Helen Keller anymore. You are bringing not only education, you are bringing, among others, among many things, peace. Not only learnings, you are bringing peace to a province whose history, current or past, you know very well about. And if you can have an impact with your four schools and a bag, that would truly be a wonderful contribution to a province which has been poor for so long, but so rich in history, so rich in education, and so rich in the quality of its people. Thank you very much. Maraming salamat.
Thank you so much, Secretary Liling, Secretary Leonor Magtolis Briones. Let's give our secretary a virtual applause. You know, every time I listen to Secretary speak, I always end up with mouth agape. That's why I have to bite my lips. Otherwise, my saliva might be drooling, listening to her in awe and wonder, like from history, tourism, geography, even economy, current events, and humor. So she will start to let you teary-eyed. Afterwards, she will crack a joke and then give you other facts. So most importantly, the nuggets of wisdom that we get from her. So a virtual applause to our beloved Secretary Liling and Anegrense from Negros Oriental. Okay. So thank you so much, Secretary. I think RD Sal and Sir Sinan are inviting you to go to Dubdub and to Apo. Kana the Secretary of Naay taga
I've
DepEd
been
mo retire.
wanting to go to Dobdob for a very long time. Yung nga lang, I've been advised kasi when I travel by land, I have to travel fast.
Yes.
Yung vehicle ng speed. Eh hindi pwede because the roads are so bad.
Yeah, so bad, really, ma'am.
Worse than the moon.
Yes.
Worse
And
than
then we pass through, we have to pass through Pamplona, ma'am, and going to Dubdub.
ay
For
Otro
ours.
din. Nandoon pa din yung big rocks doon.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Ah.
you cannot go to Dubdub within the municipality itself in Valencia, but you have to go to Dumaguete, to Amlan, to Pamplona before reaching Dubdub.
Sibulan.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's how tough it is.
Yes. It's a very luxurious road, Secretary.
I had an
Lukso ang
experience
road.
there, ma'am. So
Wonderful
I'm
tour.
looking for the picture or in the picture of my experience in going to Dubdub. So that was really
So you've been there to
memorable.
Dubdub?
Yeah, I
Daya
went to
mo ah.
Dubdub, ma'am. I told them that the road to heaven is really that very difficult. I said, but once you're there, it's really a beautiful place on top of
Yes.
the mountain. But
You
going
can see.
there, it's really very difficult, ma'am.
Oo, kaya the
Yes.
teachers live there.
Yes,
Yes.
Stay
Secretary.
there.
Some
Stay
of
there.
them, when I was the superintendent there, ma'am, some of them monthly. They will go home monthly.
Yes,
Because fare one way is 1,000 pesos.
correct.
Yeah, that's why
Correct.
monthly they have to go down monthly and going up.
Oo
Stay
nga.
there for a month.
soon.
Oo.
Pag may nag-retire po at
So
nag-enter
I hope
politics.
our donor friends will appreciate the value of what you are giving away, the value of what you are sharing. Oo, ma-appreciate ninyo yan. Hindi lang yun na nasa kanto lang, sasakay ka lang ng tricycle and then you are there in Dobdob. It's
Very.
practically nearly impossible to reach, and you have to have a very adventurous and heroic teacher to want to stay with the children and with the community. Oo.
Yes.
Unless may private
Very
plane
honest.
kasal.
Listen.
Gusto ko
Oo.
lang i-share na yung storya na naibahagi ninyo, napaka-importante kasi part of our communicating, what we do is following the story. Kaya nga yun pa yung naibahagi nyo ngayon ay simula pa lang ng aming pagsunod sa storya. Kung paano makarating yung bag sa Dubdob. Kaya
Oo, maganda yan. That would really be wonderful.
a very interesting story.
Interesting story.
Nakabitan namin ng camera siguro yung bag para talagang maramdaman nung tao yung lubak. Nako, napakagandang storya noon. Kaya makakaasa po kayong susundan namin ang progress. Hindi lang nung pagsabi ng storya, pero yung progress ng mga kabataan doon. And it's so beautiful what you said. You gave color to Dubdob in particular because we look for success stories and case studies. Dito namin papaigting ang aming commitment sa education. So salamat po na marami. At meron din po akong maliit na bag para doon sa mga makakarga masyado mabigat. Meron din tayong maliit. Pero giveaway lang.
Miniature.
Salamat po na marami.
Miniature. Yeah. Thank you, Miss Kathy. And of course,
so ngayon,
thank you.
mas ma-appreciate na ninyo, Kathy and LBC and also PBSP. Ma-appreciate na ninyo kung ano yung value ng binibigay ninyo. It's not just a gadget. It's a way to liberation. It's a way to freedom. Because of course, education is liberating.
Yes.
Oo. And it's also a way to peace in the province. And I'm very sure you know what I mean, what I am referring to. Contribution ninyo yan. Kaya I'd like to assure you I'm not running for any position. Wala, so you cannot say, tumatakbo yan, kaya nagsiseremonya and all that. No. It's just that finally something is going to happen to Dobdob.
Yay.
Hindi yan makaboto yung mga tao doon. Hirap silang baba.
Yeah, thank you so much, Secretary Liling. Thank you so much, Smart, for the school in a bag, for the 4 schools, Apo, Dobdob, Sandayaw Annex, and of course, Humay. And to show their gratitude, let's listen to the messages of the school heads. For Apo Elementary School, let's listen to the words of gratitude from Dr. Harold A. Suwan, the school head. Let's give him a virtual applause.
To our dear Department of Education Secretary Leonor Mactolis Briones, Undersecretary for Project Management Service and External Partnership Services, Honorable Tenisito Umali. To our DepEd partners and stakeholders, Ms. Kathy Yapiang, First Vice President, Group Head of Corporate Communications, PLDT and Smart Communication, Ms. Stephanie Orlino, Education Program Head, Smart Communication, Ms. Junami Samson, Project Officer, School in a Bag, Philippines, Business for Social Progress, Ms. Christine Woodridge, Executive Director, LBC Foundation. To our Regional Director, Department of Education, Central Visayas, Dr. Sebastiano T. Jimenez. To our Schools Division Superintendent, Division of Negros Oriental, Dr. Sinin Peselio Pauline. School Division Superintendent, Division of Giholngan City, Dr. Ivan D. Munisit. To our Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Joelisa Arcelia, Dr. Nilita Ragay, and Dr. Marcelo Palispis. To our SGOD Chief, Division of Negros Oriental, Dr. Rochelle P. Picardal. To our CID Chief in Division of Negros Oriental, Dr. Nilita L. Ragay. To our Division Focal Person in Adapa School and Brigada Escuela, Mrs. Carla P. Antonio. To our District Supervisor in Darwin District, Dr. Vida Valenciana A. Dabay. District Supervisor in Valencia District, Dr. Rolando Pacaro. To my co-recipients of School for Smart School in Abad, school heads and teachers, good ladies and friends, good afternoon. We all know why we are here today, so I'm beginning with the obvious, a simple, heartfelt, and well-deserved thank you. God is good all the time, and all the time, God is good. I am blessed, humbled, and privileged to stand before you this afternoon in this event. This is the big day for all of us as the school recipients of the Smart School in Abad. Our school, Apoy Elementary School in Darwin District, was beyond thrilled upon receiving this package from Smart Communication. This package from Smart Communication is more than perfect in each and every way. It is timely and relevant given that the learning modality these days is gradually shifting towards the blended learning modality of online and modular instructions. We can't thank you enough for the generosity you've extended to our humble schools. This is indeed another milestone for Apu Elementary School and Dugdog Elementary School. Thank you for keeping us in your thoughts with these great presents for our learners here in Apu Elementary School and Dugdog Elementary School. Rest assured, we will take good care of this package and put them in good use for the benefit of our learners in the school years to come. To our DepEd partners and stakeholders like Smart Communication and LDC, you are the best partner. I perfectly remembered what our DepEd Undersecretary for External Partnership Services, Honorable Tenisito Umali, he emphasized the importance of partnerships in education, and I quote, "Dahil po ang mga bagay na dati hindi namin magagawa, mga bagay na akala namin hindi namin maabot, mga bagay na akala po namin imposible, ngayon ay amin nang nagagawa dahil po sa inyong lahat, mga pinakamamahal naming partners." Through partnerships, our DepEd stakeholders get involved to address the immediate needs of our learners and invest to help bridge the gaps in the fields of education. Daghang salamat Smart Communication and LDC. Sagot po kayo sa aming mga pangarap para sa aming mga kabataan. Sa mga taong naging instrumento na maging posible ang mga imposibleng mga bagay at pangarap para sa bawat paaralan at sa mga kabataan. Mula sa Central Office, Secretary Leonor Magtolis Briones, Undersecretary Tonisito Umali, special mention sa ADAP School Program sa Central Office to Ma'am Carol and Ma'am Tab. To the Regional Office, Dr. Salciano T. Jimenez. Sa Division ng Negros Oriental, Dr. Sinin Priscelo O. Paulin. To Ma'am Carla P. Antonio. To our District Supervisor, Dr. P. Dalvenciana A. Dabay. Para sa inyo, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And above all, I thank the Lord for this gift to our school. I accept it in all humility. Thank you so much and good afternoon.
Thank you so much, Sir Harold Suwan, the school head of Apo Elementary School. This time, we will listen to the words of gratitude from the school head of Gihulingan National High School, Sandayao Annex, Mr. Fidelito J. Senyagan. Let's give him a virtual applause.
To the most respected Secretary of the Department of Education, Dr. Briones, ma'am, to our Regional Director of Region 7, Dr. Salustiano T. Jimenez, sir, to our supportive schools division superintendent, Dr. Arden D. Munisit, sir, to our ever vibrant assistant schools division superintendent, Mr. Romel Victor A. Villahermosa, sir, distinguished guests, fellow educators, friends, ladies and gentlemen, a blessed afternoon. I am delighted to be virtually connected with you today in this momentous event. I am honored and humbled to speak on behalf of the Division of Yongan City, particularly my Humay Elementary School and Sandayo National High School faculty and staff, parents, and most especially our beloved students. We would like to express our sincerest gratitude to Smart Communication Incorporated, who had been extraordinarily generous with the blessings we extended to our humble schools located in far-flung areas. We are incredibly blessed and favored that of all the elementary and secondary schools, the entire division of Giholngan City, with no doubt, you willingly entrusted Humay Elementary School and Sandayo National High School with smart school in a bag, that of great significance to students who are not yet connected to the world and where no one is left behind in terms of technology. We ensure to utilize these tablets in promoting quality and equitable education for all. We are proud of the partnership that we had established through Adapt a School program and looking forward for more beneficiaries around the Philippines. Indeed, in this great gesture of generosity, we are materializing the motto of the division of Giholngan City, which is the Giholngan City Division, Bata ang number one. From the bottom of our hearts, daghan kayong salamat sa gugmang kaso-asong paabot ka namo. Maraming salamat po. Keep safe and God bless us all.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fidelito J. Seniagan. Let's give Sir Fidelito a virtual applause. As it is said, like all things under the sun, every beginning has an ending. However, this ending is not merely an end because there is more to this partnership. Sabi nga ni Miss Kathy kanina, susundan nila hanggang sa pagdating sa mga schools ng mga school in a bag. So this time, let's listen to the closing remarks from the ASDS of the Division of Gihulingan City, Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Romel Victor A. Villahermosa. Virtual applause, please.
Thank you very much, Ms. Carla, to our ever dynamic Secretary of the Department of Education, Honorable Leonor Magtulis Briones, our Undersecretary for Project Management Service and External Partnerships Service, Honorable Todisito Umali, represented by Dr. Idel Parag, our esteemed Regional Director, Dr. Salustiano Jimenez, and our Schools Division Superintendent of Negros Oriental Division, Dr. Sedin Priscilo Pulin, and my Superintendent, Dr. Arden D. Monisit. My counterparts in Negros Oriental Division, Dr. Joylisa Arcilia and Dr. Nilita Ragay. Our generous donors who are here with us today, Miss Kathy Yang of Smart Communications. I'm so happy to see you, to meet you virtually, Miss Kathy. I'm actually a fan. I used to watch your programs in ANC. And to the LBC Foundation and the Philippine Business for Social Progress. And to everyone who are here with us this afternoon. Maayong hapon kanatong tanan. It is both an honor and privilege that two of our schools in Gihulngan City Division are recipients of this Smart School in a Bag donation packages. I would like to thank Smart for this thoughtful initiative and for supporting DepEd's basic education learning continuity plan in these times of pandemic, and for giving opportunities to our learners, especially in Sandayao National High School and Humay Elementary School, the chance to experience learning in the context of technology. This generous gesture supports the mantra that Gihulgan City Division lives for. Sa DepEd Gihulgan, ang kabataan number one. On behalf of the entire division of Gihulgan City, under the leadership of Dr. Arden D. Monisit, I am deeply gratified to all the people behind this huge favor. To our recipient schools with their respective teaching force, may you continue to serve, guide, and inspire our learners to see the opportunity in every adversity. The unwavering support of the division office stands with your hard work you put into your profession. Inspired with our mission, we acknowledge the vital role of our stakeholders in the realization of DepEd's vision to provide quality education and produce smart learners who are nation builders. DepEd cannot do this alone. As they say, it takes a whole village to educate a child. Thank you, Smart Communications, LBC, and PBSP for responding to this call. As I watch Miss Kathy with the gadgets, I feel so excited for our learners. And I'm bringing this smile, happiness, and excitement the moment they receive these gadgets. Once again, thank you and congratulations to SDO Negros Oriental, Miss Carla, for successfully hosting this turnover ceremony. God bless us all. Mabuhay ang DepEd.
Thank you so much, Sir Romel. Mabuhay din po kayo. Yes, we are finally having our finale of this event. But before we go, mag-photo ops na po muna tayo, especially na dapat bawat isa sa atin hawak-hawak yung ating school in a bag props. So habang nagre-ready kami dito sa SDO, may we request po sa aming mga ICT, i-focus po si Secretary Liling at saka si Ma'am Kathy para may photo op po tayo sa kanilang dalawa. Sila po ang ating i-screenshot po natin sir. Ang cute ng bag ni Secretary Liling. Ayan po. Sige, mag-screenshot na po tayo. Yung iba po paki-open niyo po yung cam ninyong.
Yan na po, mahuli po. Lara ko hawak service. Service hawak ko kaya hindi na ko ka-open ta kung cam. Ano?
Sige. Don't forget to return where you got it, ha?
That is the best advice.
Para hindi po magkabaliktad yung ICS.
Miss Carla, papin din po yung may mga hawak ng ng mini siyab sa CEO, si Director Edel, si Rudy.
Sige. Pakipin daw si Sir Alma, si Director Edel, si Sir Senen, si ASDS Romel, si SDS Monisit,
Si Rudy ng DepEd. Thank you.
si Sir Rudy po. Ayan. Si Sandayaw. Hindi hulingan. Okay. So, ayan po para picture po kayo. Hindi po ako maka-picture. Namatay ang aking cellphone. While we're having our photo ops, allow me also to thank the people behind the camera. Yung mga ICT namin, led by our ITO, Ma'am Remelin Gaugao, also with John Odi Bato, Sir Elmar Cabrera, Sir Nino, Sir Bong, and of course our Instant Director for today, our M&E EPS, si Dr. Regina Empeso. Kasi wala po pala kaming director. So immediately, she jumped in. And of course, to my prayer warrior, nakagabi pa po nagdadasal na wala pong power interruption, na hindi magkaka-brown out, na hindi mawawala ang internet connection. Ang aking mother, ang aking SEPS, sa social mobilization, si Dr. Emma Mate. And si Dr. Rachel B. Picardal po ang aking SGOD chief. So thank you so much to everyone and to my SDS for giving me this opportunity to host this event. Maraming salamat po, especially to SMART, to LBC and PBSP, sa lahat po ng nasa DepEd CO, pinangungunahan po ni Secretary Liling. Maraming salamat po. Thank you so much. Nawa po ay makakarating pa sa maraming mag-aaral ang paggamit po ng mga gadgets na ito at may maraming matutunan. Sabi nga ni Secretary, to attain liberation. It's a liberating experience because peace is not about having silence or quietness, but peace is yung may makakain ka, yung may nalalaman ka, yung may magagawa ka, and that's peace. Maraming salamat po, Secretary, for the learning. So to everyone, thank you so much. To Sir Jesse sa Gihulingan, Sir Romel, Sir Monisit, thank you po. Congratulations to the 4 schools. Ayan na po at ipapadala na mo namin ang mga gadgets na ito sa Dubdob at sa Apo. Okay. So maraming salamat. Thank you.
Okay na po tayo sa litrato.
Okay na po.
Miss Carla, ako po si MJ to from Smart. Pwede natin pa-spotlight lang po. Kanina hindi lang maayos lang. Pa-spotlight lang po ako kay Secretary Briones, Miss Cathy, at saka kay Sir Edel, ay kay Director Edel.
Okay, sige. Yung tatlo lang, Sir Elmar. Si Secretary, si Ma'am Cathy, at saka si Director Edel. Sila po muna.
Yes, opo.
Okay, sige po.
Ayan, salamat. This will take a few minutes lang po, seconds lang po, Secretary Briones. Ayan po. Pulling it up.
Teka, for a moment. Ayan, naka-screenshot na po lahat. O, ayan.
Sige. Tapos yung tatlo lang po sila, ma'am.
Oo, tapos
okay. Okay na po. Secretary, thank you so much. Alam ko po, busy po kayo, but you spend time with us.
Oh, grabe talaga. I work 7 days a week, 24 hours a day.
Thank you, Sir Sal.
Welcome. Congrats, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Liling, for the time. Director Idel, thank you.
Congratulations, Carla.
Thank you, Secretary. Ma'am, you can be...
Kasi I'll be calling you personally to give you more background on the recipients. Para lalong ma-appreciate what you are doing. It's very short. Mamaya. Sige.
Secretary, thank you so much, and I hope you get some rest. If you've sent someone to fix your connection, I apologize for that. So hopefully you get connected again, and you can call everyone you want around the country and overseas.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. You can watch this through DepEd SDO Neg or FB page, and then we will also be airing this on YouTube tomorrow po. Tomorrow po.
Thank you, Miss Carla.
Thank you. Maraming salamat po. Thank you.
Sige, salamat.
Thank you, Sir Sal. Thank you, Miss Dav. Thank you. Thursday po pala. Thursday. Thursday namin i-upload.
We'll let everyone know. Thank you.
And then we'll give a recording to Miss MJ.
Edel, paborito mo talaga ang red.
Opo, ma'am. That's really my color. Totoo po.
Oo, siguro magkakamot ng ulo si June kasi dinidiscourage na tayo magsuot ng red. Ako din. Sabi ko, that's the color of Asia eh. It's an Asian reference. For TV purposes, hindi niya na-encourage yung pagsuot ng red. Carla, okay, na ano na yung mga dasal mo, nasagot na.
Yes po. Nasagot. Wala pong brownout, walang interruption sa internet. And thank you so much, PLDT. PLDT po ang connection namin dito.
Thank you so much, Secretary.
Oo. Basta just tell people na I'm not a candidate. Baka